What I tried to be outside you, I succeeded at within the protective covering of your loving arms. I don't always know how to say what I want to express when I'm really ready to articulate it, especially when I get caught out, put on the spot, taken by surprise. An opportunity swoops down on me, skipping me up inside and speaking, sending me soaring through the skies, failing to affirm out loud what I know in my heart to be true, that I would gladly give my own life for the sake of all mankind entering through the pearly gates. If only hormones assisted instead of impeding my progress. They weren't meant to get in the way, but to be a helping hand, to beat the loneliness from my door, standing so grand and imposing over the ants. Look at me, foolishly looking for answers anywhere else but you. All I had to do was simply come to you and ask. I've got more excuses than the average sultan has wives and stallions. My eyes are set upon those heavenly treasures, not earthly medallions. I've had my dalliances with the mindset of the enemy, being reliant on everything that's slowly but surely damaging me, eradicating all remaining traces of the person I used to be. This face I once owned is no longer so crestfallen like it once was. I have found new hope in life, a reason to breathe again. This cat's got a functional tongue back in his mouth. You don't force feed me your truth, you just distribute it to me when I come. You just distribute it to me when I come willingly. You got a whole storehouse full of spare body parts to replace those that are missing and lost. We don't need to lay on grace to get your anointing. All we need to do is turn our eyes towards the heavens and look to you for guidance. You won't let us perish without hearing the good news. You wouldn't leave the spreading of your gospel solely up to people who can be lazy, shiftless, and irresponsible, dodging the blame, shuffling hats, becoming far more adept at passing on a task than accomplishing it. Money burning a hole in my pocket. I know it's not returning to me void. If I invested in the kingdom of righteousness, why are we known as those who rip each other off instead of building up the flock? Surely we are capable of more noble behavior than the world is currently recognized for participating in. We endeavor to think charitably towards others. Stinginess is systemic, becoming an endemic in our society. What happened to helping our neighbors, your neighbors? Are we drifting away from our godly foundations? Can we return to the way we once were before the world began to gradually shift in its perspective? It's easy to convince ourselves that only one paradigm exists, especially when we don't expose ourselves to other ways of viewing the world. It's easy to become jaded, assume that you're going to be exploited by someone who shares the same faith as you. It's a sad state of affairs if this occurs in any instance, yet alone if it becomes so common you almost expect to be taken for granted and taken advantage of. Some people just want to get a free ride and coast for life. They claw their way to the top by treading on others' backs and using them like ladders. You see something worthwhile in us? You have a purpose for us still on this earth. That's why you allow us to continue breathing. I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt until I know for sure they aren't worth me wasting my energy on. Unless I get some kind of divine edict to chill with them, my lips are stitched. Nobody is intimidating me in this scenario. It's time for us to go. I just can't get the words out quick enough, you know. Everyone is in a leaving mood. How many hands should I have shaken but didn't? What great number of destroyed dreams do I have resting heavy on my conscience? And what amount can I count myself blessed to have been a part of building, even in the smallest measure? Keep my eyes fixed on my heavenly treasures. I care little if I give everyone in this life. There would be lying if I said that it doesn't concern me to see others get loaded with plaudits for their achievements while I fester unmerited. By all but the eyes of El Shaddai, what good is fame if you don't have the ability to feed your family with the attention you draw to yourself? Everyone wants to throw their eyes in your direction, but never their coins. Will she ever join herself to my joints in holy matrimony? Can I have hegemony over her in a non-aggressive, non-invasive way? She should only submit to me if we elect and where the bliss of my wife doesn't contradict his, and my will doesn't contradict his. The one who gave his life on that tree, so we might walk in freedom all the days of our tiny little lives, short in span, if not in stature. Can we run away from the pure hate, dribbling from our vomiting mouths? Only with the help of Alpha and Omega living in us. Can I think pure thought that don't get bogged down in endless tit for tat? How often do we chat about the things that truly matter? We can fraternize with the servants of the enemy without becoming locked up in the way that cogs and wheels turn around inside our own minds. Some people have trouble justifying being kind to themselves. They would rather do a favor for anybody else. Still others only think about their own needs and concerns. So many advertising agencies push us into caring only for the vision they see displayed before them in the mirror. None of us can be the fairest of them all except for God. In terms of justice, we declare the allegiance of our worldview within a few seconds of our conversation. As soon as we enter into discussion over how exactly we perceive the good and bad events in our life occurring, I can't tell if I'm recovering from concussion. Remain nonplussed in reaction to the preceding incidents leading up to this moment. You won't catch me frothing at the gov displaying signs of shading for Freud. It brings me no delight to see others suffer, to witness atrocities that go unpunished, while some kick up a fuss about the most insignificant grievances. Some problems we can change without divine intervention. You can't alter your race, so you can't prevent people discriminating against you because of it. And most people who alter their religion may find it difficult to bear up under the resulting criticism or live with themselves. You have to weigh up your gains and losses in a situation. What is the trade-off for your sacrifice? Will it bring the world any closer to making contact with Jesus Christ? Will we experience the torture of those who were faithful, or shall we be spirited away in a blind and flash of light? Either way, I know my final destination. Nothing shall dissuade me from reaching it, or persuade me to think otherwise. I know I haven't always valued my relationship with you, or prioritized it above other less noble and sacred activities. Pain and the passion and nativity at the back of my mind, constantly keeping my eyes focused on the side of heaven. It won't be long till we flee this scene. You were nailed to those beams, hung in between two thieves to rescue us. The sun reflects the light and glory of the Father, and vice versa. You are sweet generous. It's hard to fathom the love you have for us. It's so astounding. We are rooted and established in your affection. Nothing can ever sever the connection we have to your heart. Impart your truth to us. Love us even through our ruthlessness. Though I may be considered a malcontent, you've got a tender spot for ruffians and psychopaths like us. There's never any reason to cry around you, for you wipe away every tear from my eyes. When I rise up in the morning, I will thank you for giving me life. Providing me the gift of another day. Will it be the same as all the others, or offer us like change? Some ladies are down on their knees, probably thinking like Hannah once did, that God will never bless their wombs with babies. But that's amazing how He can make us fertile. He can remove all of our villainous thoughts and replace them with virtuous, heroic ones. Forgive me, Lord, for anyone I give the cold shoulder to, inadvertently treating them as less than nothing just because I couldn't exploit their contacts. Little did I know how fast is a network of all human beings. When we're ready to move, you will come and find us. When we're willing to tune into your voice, our solace, real highness. I praise the Lord for those godly female influences in my life, steering me in the right direction musically. When the world doesn't seem to be going the way I want it to. Help me to be patient with the process of you delivering my breakthrough. I just keep on stumbling my way through relationships, bumbling my way in and out of them. You help me to say the right words, not to come across as cocky or arrogant, or wallow in misery like a worm wriggling along the muddy ground. After the rain has fallen on the plain, can you turn the situation on its head? Make my troubles and woes run with the tail tucked between their legs. I know nothing is impossible for you. There are no limits placed upon what you're capable of achieving through and despite us. Keeping it tight with you, staying close to your heart, being willing to be vulnerable with you. Opening up, being honest and sharing with you all the tears we cry. Shedding them in trickling torrents into your massive bottle. Ocean-sized dripping, fill us with your love to replace all our sorrows and give us brighter tomorrows. Let us lean on you as our crutch. It's such a blessing just to know your constant companionship. You are clutching me near you, dearest. You're squeezing me round the waist, in a grip like a python or a vice. And I wouldn't never want to leave the paradise of this proximity. When at the Garden of Gethsemane, your soul was tried upon my anguish, like grapes get squished by already other purple feet. When you separate the chaff from the wheat and the goats from the sheep, which side shall I be upon? When these familiar institutions remain forsaken and forlorn, who will carry on with the traditions of our beliefs? When our bodies have crumbled into cold as stone and dust, can we put our trust in something bigger than ourselves till you release me from this life? I choose to perceive it as a blessing, not a confounding, confining burden I'm resigned to shoulder, having a physical road of existence. Wanderer, to share the burden with me and make it easier to carry. Can we lighten each other's load? Why do you get frightened by my increasing fondness for your diatribes, whose diagnostics once dissected may include the denizens comprising heaven's future citizens? being looked upon favourably by our loving God, who doesn't want us to hide any part of ourselves, but to stroll around shame-free. A portrait of a lady is designed and refined by the master artist. I can attest to God bringing out his beauty in you. In a spontaneous way, you will jump in the swimming pool fully clothed. In the international food night, you organise a revolving door of global villagers trampling through your home, taking turns sharing bedclothes, temporary place of residence, switching between yours and theirs, saying your prayers. It's good to know we've got a God who cares for us, enough to lay his life down for us, to share the wealth of his eternal inheritance. Truly I am the only one stopping myself from achieving greatness. My lack of confidence or my egotism is usually the culprit. I'm a pendulum swinging between two extremes and polar opposites. It seems you have got my number, you have got me figured out. You have got to be kidding me. If you think I'm risking my life hanging around people who only want to cut me up into tiny little pieces like sandwiches for a lady's afternoon tea party, so delicate and tiny like the china that they use for sipping and the tinchy cups of jasmine brew. A little oolong, if you please. Now did I do wrong by coming next to you out of the blue? You didn't quite know how to handle it. I have to butt my way into conversations, cause I haven't got the slightest clue how to start them. Lord help me not to dominate or be so reticent that I never get a chance to dissect the contents of my brain, extricating them for all the world to see. How do you view me? It doesn't matter in the slightest. I care far more about what you think about my family and Jesus. In reverse order of importance, I wouldn't denigrate a simple or a complicated, cause there's an intricacy embedded within the simplest lines. What some may see as flimsy can actually contain a deep sea of whimsy. It all depends on how much weight you're willing to add to it. We flit about like tiny birds amongst the flowers. We do the splits like a bunch of banana bending ballerinas in the arena. We observe these performers on the mezzanine. You can make my conscience clean, clear away the dross. You ask the blind man, does he want to see? You want him to take that first step and claim his miracle, sees it for himself, like the woman with the issue of blood. That wouldn't stop. She spent plenty of money on doctors, but it didn't help until she gave you a yelp. It wasn't like you didn't know the one in whom your power flowed. You just wanted her to admit it, that you were capable of taking her beyond her pain to a place where it couldn't reach her again. What could be estimates the time that she spent previously warring on her knees? Why can't you see miracles are happening every day? Kids being delivered from immune deficiency syndromes. The gloaming is roaming away from our doors. Homing devices of your word will lead us to your arms like a solar torch or that lunar beam. They say in space no one can hear your plea, but that isn't strictly true, because we are never out of the range of your ears to hear us. We get much better reception between us and heaven than we ever did with satellite phones. We grind for nothing because you're taking care of business, making sure there's food on the table and not just the elbows. For better or for worse, you stick with us till we bust a hole through into heaven. Most of the time when I worry about what other people must be thinking about me when they pass me by, I couldn't be the furthest thing from their minds. I guess I train myself to be suspicious of humankind, unsure of how to take compliments just in case I get a swelled head. Not wanting to offend by dismissing the consideration given by them towards my feelings, boosting my ego, causing it to gain several sizes in one sitting. I wasn't hunting and reprimands, obeying the commands of my Lord and Master usually helps keep me out of strife. But what about those catastrophes that seem to be unavoidable? I have a choice more often than not, either whether to bump into them or jump away out of their reach. My insatiable appetite for destruction is going to get the better of me one of these days. And who will stand to benefit from the disarray and decay, the shambles I have allowed my life to become, permitting my soul to push away everything and everyone I love as if it wasn't enough that I've already disposed of my friends. Now I start on my family, making short work of them. There's a monster in their midst, An elephant in the room no one bothers to acknowledge. My clumsy, awkward self is fast fading away into silence. I don't believe Homo sapiens have the ability to manipulate the will of God. Everything that occurs in this world only takes place because he permits it. You are kidding yourself if you think you possess any degree of control over your destiny. I am blessed and highly favored. I have been given this privileged position to be known as his child, to be grafted into his body. Why do the various parts continue to squabble amongst themselves? Surely we would have learned to get along by now. Maybe I should have possessed a more critical spirit. My eye only scanning those details in need of improvement without picking apart every thread of the conversation you were having between God and yourself. I should have warned you that I'm the kind of guy who struggles with just being friends, who tends to fall intoxicated by the beauty of a woman at the shake of a maraca. I get crackers thinking that this world starts sinking below the horizon, chasing herds of bison, cutting her up like Venetian in my dreams. Did I see the character, or just the impressions made by her flesh upon my skull? Conjure up distortions of what might have been if only you could but view the world through my eyes. Sympathize or emphasizing the fact that you don't have to increase or decrease in size, width or height. In fact, don't change anything about you at all. We don't have to be exact replicas of each other to get along, or even finish each other's sentences. To be in tune with each other's mental channel. If we were judged by a panel of experts, they still wouldn't be able to obtain an insider's perspective of what it's like to dwell within the confines of a relationship, haunted by the ghost-like memories of you that plague around my door. Questioning the logic of what all this fighting is for exactly. I get how you struggled to access instances you previously suppressed as part of your self-made mechanisms for coping with the pressures of painful experience you're forced to endure. Should I unlock this chamber of secrets or leave it hidden away from the prying eyes of the world to pick over the bones of our relationship's carcass? Tighten up our safety harness, watch me spray my nightmares on canvas. I realise this may seem like betrayal to you, but it's therapy to me. I know I cross the line straight into opinion, unfairly judging the interwoven tapestry of your family's inner workings too harshly, as if I was also bogged down in those marshland-like mindsets, a creature from the swamp, familiar and habitual, a regular around these parts. It's easy to convince myself that stinginess is the best option, until my heart is tugged by displays of generosity, making me want to follow suit. Is it a fallacy to retreat into my moon palace, nestled by the bay of tranquility? I will never be ready for a relationship, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't dive in headfirst right now, cause I'm not going in blind. I've done my research on you, as little as I know is enough to persuade me you're a keeper, darling. Sorry for giving you the creepy crawlies like spiderlings, slowly sneaking all over your pure polished porcelain skin. Minuscule conundrums can make your life a living hell if you let them, putting way too much weight on those who are exerting as much force as a feather does upon a brick wall. Call me when you're ready to acknowledge the logic of my point of view, or when it's no longer an issue. When I think about the way you have chosen to live your life before sticking your head in between the jaws of a crocodile and wondering why you wind up with tooth marks chipped into your cranium, creating cavities. Another casualty of post-honeymoon gravity. Are you still strapping on your rocket boots? Do you delude yourself that there's no camel poking his head through your window staring back at you? Shouldn't you be querying your attraction to that sinister realm too? Why do we get giddy little thrills endlessly chasing after those viewing experiences that do our minds more damage than help? I'm washed up like kelp without this regular back and forth we do, exchanging ideas, swapping facts and versions of the truth. Did we temporarily abrogate responsibility? Whatever role I once played in your life had to drift and shift into another shape by necessity. I think we're getting too close for comfort. You shouldn't have more respect for me, or seek my guidance about the one you claim to love enough to bleed in order to protect it. You weren't pretending you were perfect. You just picked the path of talking about the life you wished existed, as if you had already slipped into the skin of that unknown. Have you been sleeping in a pod most of your life? Do you refuse to wake up to the absence of a solution in this place? If you keep on insisting on hanging around, you will only drag yourself down, pushing yourself ever deeper in the dirt. With every buried hurt, I see you're too feared to express your personality. It manifests in strange ways. You lash out when you tease, insulting intelligence cause you can't speak with your fists, making a significant impact as you do with empty threats of a man who loves you. Oh, a man who loves you will do anything to please you, 'cause he knows behind closed doors he's reaping all the benefits. One boy can take your body and another claim her soul. Who craves a humor and a smarts, who'd rather value her for what her physical appearance has to offer, and he views a deeper love in every part of her. On a drilling satellite, I saw the stars were shining bright directly outside your house last night. I often think you hate me, but I never say it out loud. I don't always tell you when I want to kill myself, 'cause I don't want to upset you by letting you inside my head, in case I scare you or make you shake with anger, sorrow and fear. Why are you surprised at the way I'm acting and reacting? I am the kid you raised, the one you made out of your treatment. You must have known exactly how I was gonna turn out. Is it such a crime to be in touch with my emotions when I weep? It's a genuine expression of my grief. I don't mean to manipulate anyone. I'm not play acting. What would I have to gain by engaging in a game of charades? I hate to rain on your parade, but I'm being honest when I attempt to articulate my hurt and confusion. Though it doesn't make any kind of sense to you, why do you assume only one gender or age group turns on the waterfall? Water works like this. It doesn't make me a baby or a girl if I choose to scream and shout, if my eyeballs flood rivers over the fact I have been treated like that. It's not just 'cause I didn't get my own way. I'm not trying to influence your thinking patterns. Those who have no lives love to meddle in other people's business. You wonder why I just can't mind my own beeswax. You'd have no problem poking around in mine, digging for dirt on others close to me, wasting all your time obsessing over the private lives of politicians turned celebrities. I have to fight to keep myself from cussing. I despise people mussing up my hair, but used to crave my mama stroking like a cat curled up at her feet, begging for a belly rub like a domesticated little dog, laying my head across her lap. Perhaps you are unable to relate to me because you never dealt with the same issues in your childhood as I did mine, although I'm sure you must have faced some of the same giants. The devil never pulls any new tricks after all. He just digs them out of the same old bag and tries to fool us all, dressing sea hags up as perfect princesses and handsome tall dark strangers that the male persuasion may be stealthily disguising a dagger within the folds of their cloak. Stoke the coke oven. If I lost your loving, I don't know what I would do. What fool was I to ever doubt you? Lying to myself that it was far more simple than it was complicated. This complex onion peel-like situation, multi-layered, interfering with each other's peace of mind, seems almost to be an inevitable part of our daily lives. I've gotten used to being ignored, shouting down and retreating from the world, a quiet wee rodent, only noticed in my absence, yet when I'm there I always suffer by comparison, feeling like more of a burden than a useful pair of extra fingers and thumbs, handy to have around. My ship has run aground, my head is painted with the yoking sound, realizing what I have gained and lost. You were deluded if you thought my silence or loyalty could ever be bought. I'm sorry to hurt and upset you. I didn't mean to make you worry and fret. You already know I suffered from problems with my mental health, but not that I posed a danger to either others or myself. Don't step so close, you may suffer as a result. I lull you into a false sense of security, making you think everything is fine and dandy. How should I interpret this reluctance to be near me? Is it the strangeness of unfamiliarity causing your eyes to bug out other sockets? The whole world doesn't have to like me, but it would be nice to receive tender love and care from my family. To always know I'm safe and secure around them, breathing easy in the knowledge that I don't have to worry about pushing them over the edge, causing earthquakes of frustration, making lightning bolts spark off inside your head, driven and regretting my stupid actions, wishing I could get results by bashing my head against a brick wall and slashing my wrist, but self-harm doesn't get me anywhere, gashing my veins till the blood flows, rushing out like a train dashing through a tunnel. I don't know why I use my mouth to bruise your spirit like I do quite frequently. I'm not gonna pretend for 1 second I'm anywhere close to perfect. I get it when you need to be left alone so you've got space to breathe, 'cause I need time to myself in order to thrive and appreciate this close proximity to you which embodies my daily life. But still, if the shoe is on the other foot and I'm demanding your attention, I hate to be ignored, wrestling with my lack of ability to dread suitable materials out of the pool of my mind, up onto the banks of my memory, draw ranks on me. You're not spanking me anymore, so you're finding ways to discipline me, threatening or withdrawing affection. The only way you can make me do what you want me to do is by taking away my privileges, refusing to be my taxi cab, not operating on my authority, controlling how my money gets spent, for my own good to keep me from spending like there's no tomorrow, as if this day is never reaching its end, as they all inevitably will, until Jehovah comes to create a brand new world. You can say I'm not a man, that I never quite wrapped my head around the concept of maturity or masculinity, how to balance out the dictates of divinity. How can I express my gender without being aggressive or throwing my weight around? Can I still be a warrior in the quiet reserve of inner strength I've found? I've got to figure out how to reveal my inner temple without causing others blood to boil on all the corners of their corny ears to trickle out sweet rivulets of salty tears. Discharging not dutifully or by design, but merely a natural flow, like a hot spring nestling amongst the mountain peaks and volcanic ash. True love can't be obtained with cash. It takes time to win over a heart bewildered by boulder dust. Why do I hold you close when I want to push you away, and vice versa? Why am I never true or only seldom display infidelity to the creed of always being completely transparent about all that's well and round within my brain like coffee grains? When water swished amongst their percolated beady mush, smeared against the side of a glass pot, how to be refreshingly honest and loving in my approach simultaneously is my daily challenge. How can we escape this nightmarish scenario where I am lashing out or cowering in fear and horror at your fury, be it deserved or otherwise inclined? I didn't mean to make life increasing difficulty for you sleepy little suburbanites. This was supposed to be a quick getaway to more convenient pastures, a handy base to springboard on the fresher climbs. I never thought I'd end up replacing all that was familiar with similar arrangements of faces, customs, codes, and lives. Gossip tastes like syrup 1 second, then upchuck the next when you realise your name's stuck in others' mud. Lord, help me not to push her away in the way I approach the challenge of loving her like you love her. I want her, and I'm convinced that I need her in my life, even if she only ever sees me as a fan. Wishing, dreaming, hoping, praying I could be her man, and she might be my lady. You know, I try so hard to get it right, but it seems like I get it wrong more often than not. I need to humble my heart, be honest in my approach, quit acting so arrogant. That kind of behaviour tends to turn her off. I don't mean to shove her away by wanting too much too soon. I promised her the moon even if I couldn't deliver. Don't let me shiver in the cold, outside the warmth of her heart. It toasts mine like a half. It doesn't matter what people say about us. It won't dissuade me or persuade me otherwise. I'm convinced it's a fact she fancies me just as much as I do her. I could only imagine a mind as brilliant as hers stumbling across my path by sheer accident. It must be divine intervention on my behalf. Stepping in just at that moment I was giving up hope, surrendering all my faith to the dust. I trust in God to guide me, learning to let it slide. When I begin to be irritated, she placated me with her loving lips. She equipped me with what I needed to succeed. She could sing at volume levels that made my ears bleed. I would just call for her to turn it up louder, prouder than a punch bowl just to be part of her life. Dig the way she saves my soul, fantasizing about her as my wife. If our eyes have never met, does that mean we shouldn't get too attached? Just in case it all falls apart upon the impact of my fingers enfolding around yours for the very first time. Why do people stab each other in the back or jab with tongues like swords, lashing fiery speech in each other's faces? I don't want to give them any further hurting shoulder to fire. My heart's desire is to serve the Lord and to keep my woman out of rags and the gutter, making sure she's always got plenty of butter to spread upon her bread. I just can't get her out of my head. She's spinning round it like a little bird. Her voice is the most effective med my ears have ever tasted or heard. The sweetest of candy, getting me intoxicated like brandy snaps. She's like honey dripping on tap, and I just can't turn it off. I can't refuse her touch. It's so amusing the way she communicates, so cutie pie and strawberries. When I get my mind full of her tunes, you know it makes me feel like I'm soaring among the stars and planets. She is the habit I don't ever want or need to break. It would be the biggest mistake if I ever let her walk out the door of my heart. Forget about all those unsubstantiated rumors that can be like brain tumors eating away at you, slowly killing you. I can't deal with all these mountains and oceans of distance between us. I think I'm going to have to visit you so I can exhibit these feelings I've been keeping locked up in my chest. For the longest time, my quest has simply been to find someone to share my heart and give me peace of mind. A woman who loves Jesus Christ enough to lay down her life for him, who brings sacrifices of praise into his house every week or on a daily. Any chance she can possibly get you, brighten up my future. You make it more delightful. Without you in my vision, it would be positively frightful. You're so insightful. I dig your heart to save the lost, even if it costs you all your friends and family. I know you would still carry that cross, cause you got that heart that's pure and dedicated to Jesus Christ. You were fully devoted, giving every portion of your life, holding nothing back, not preventing God from accessing any part of you, not withdrawing from submission even the tiniest morsel of you. No one only total surrender will do in response to an offering so grand, spilling his blood so we can rest safely in his hands. Your DNA strand was made to glorify him. I see you were living out his purpose for your freedom. He has been purchased. You give me the greatest motive to wake up in the morning, got me speeding like a bullet locomotive, roaring through the station at top-notch speed just to reach you on the beach. Can we sit by the pier chewing Candy Rock? It came as a shock when I found out I was just another face in the crowd to you. But maybe in time, you might just change your mind and invite yourself to my wedding, playing the role of bride. I'm keeping the candle in my heart's window burning for you, just in case you ever want to break the glass puddles of my eyes and reach on through. See how my soul yearns for you, just to go beside you. So while away each morning and afternoon, each evening in this Looney Tunes world, we might have been destined for each other. If only I knew how to pace myself. It seems like I'm formulating a plan that will raise myself. Listen me more of the Lord, and I know she will be attracted to me because I will look more like JC. I know I'm not just playing tricks on my quicksand self. Can we reverse our thinking patterns, revert back to the age of innocence? Traverse the skies that twinkle in your pupils, those bright shining stars. You were drawing all mankind to Jesus. You were a magnet for the gospel, gathering them under his wings. Can you feel the peace and the joy in this place? Though pain persists, we saw the doctor who wore nails in his wrist to find a cure for us. I think the problem isn't treatable with human medicine. It's a natural condition we are born with called sin. Only the greatest physician is able to surgically remove it with the keyhole surgery of a simple heartfelt decision. The precise incisions we sever all connection to the vision of ourselves we once knew within a view the mirror wouldn't reveal. For the spirit is concealed from that glass reflection, but in truth it was the whole entirety of all we were and ever will be all along. Now my love for you is strong. I hope that we can find the strength to carry on. It brings me great pleasure just to witness the moment you share as you shine in the daylight. A glowing, luminous being of light. There is nothing boastful, bashful about you. Though you are reluctant to hand over ownership of your heart to a complete stranger. And who could blame you? For the version of ourselves we present to the world may in fact be the opposite of what they might appear at first sight. Now could we make it through another night together? My God bless us with the chance to meet us in lovely Backward Street. I can't be discreet about the fact I want to make a pact with you. Promise to always try my best to understand your perspective. And if I had attractive land, I'd hand it over to you, sweetheart. All I've got in this world, my goods and chattels. I never wish to saddle you with my debts and psychological mess, only with a rich future. The freedom to explore this planet at your leisure. A lexicon of wisdom inspired by your clever clogs. Save yourself an embarrassment of riches by giving it away as soon as you get it. This parhelion, this sundog, is glowing in the distance. I can see its bright and beautiful colors. It is beckoning to me. It is reminding me of your glory. I know you are waiting there for me. It won't be long till I walk upon your golden streets, witness those jewel-encrusted gates with my own eyes. Only they will not be viewed through the pair I now possess, but brand new ones which do not fall or fail me. which need no prescription spectacles in order to assist greater clarity of vision, for all is made restored. Back to our celestial factory settings, your hands designed us perfect. It was us who invited sin within ourselves, corrupting and corroding your flawless design, meticulously refining us, aligning our wills with your own. What if we kept this reminder always at the back of our minds, that you promised never to allow this world to become flooded again? What if we sourced the flood of food for our souls solely from you? What if we allowed your permission to revolutionize our world, completely flipping it on its head and turning it upside down? What if we were a little more gracious towards others? What if we gave them the benefit of the doubt? What if we could bring ourselves to forgive others and walk in love? What if we didn't need any gentle persuasion, but it became such a natural part of us, we did it automatically? What if we were spontaneous in doing things to our folks to show them we love them, without having to be poked, prodded, threatened, cajoled, and forced into behaving goodly? Funny how we never seem to have a problem destroying ourselves. Why is it causing ourselves damage? It is so much a part of us that we find this pattern of behavior almost impossible to escape. We need the doctor to tape the devil's mouth shut, cut off all connection with him, block those windows in our souls we have allowed him to sneak through. Don't let him gain access to any area of our lives anymore. I have been sleeping on the job. I know you were calling me forward. You didn't want me to stagnate or hibernate or reprobate. I once was, but all that is reproachable to me is able to be worked upon by your hands. It doesn't take much for you to convince me to follow you, or for you to urge me to divulge a surge of euphoria that courses through me whenever I am in your awesome presence. Can you take me away from this scenery? Be the alternative to the meanness I have known as part of my personality. Let it not dwell within me no more. Should it pass me by as waves do the shore, let me not lap it up like a cat does milk. Let me keep my distance from it. Anything in me that is not of you, purge me of it right now. Let me walk in integrity all my days, whether my head is forced to be bent or lifted high. All of us have the ability to exercise humility all the time, not just every once in a little while. I am guilty of the charges against me, yet I'm more than the picture they paint in their mind's eye. They judge me far too harshly. They haven't gotten to know me or given me the chance to explain myself. They must know that all our minds operate differently and have a tendency to obsess over those I love and care about. Like I'm possessed devoid of reason, becoming a lunatic for the sake of this endless chase after unrequited love. Remember a time when I could still bring left to the face of someone willing to offer up their heart in my hand. Rumors spread like wildfire. But I think the problem here is caused by my own self, not by any other soul's decision to wrap me up before even getting to know me. I gag myself and drive my feet in the dust. It's not that I am unwilling to trust again, or that I'd rather hug dust bunnies and bust moves with friends. Am I justified by faith? Might I find a genuine reason preempts the rules of a manufactured excuse every time? Can you come with me quietly, stealing away into the night? I hear you're coming like a thief, as quickly as my eyes can blink. The sky cracks open at the sight of you. I get dewy-eyed like honey melons over the news of damsels in distress, knowing they are beyond my reach except for a prayer, traveling where my toes can't tread. Did anybody notice when I wasn't around? Did they wonder what I was doing with my life? My ego tells me they all miss me, but I know some would be secretly celebrating life without my usual bombastic interruptions to the well-worn-out routine. Is it my mannerisms or the gangrene in my limbs that causes some to shy away at the sight of me? You will not comely in form or appearance ever. Yet your power may manifest. Spoke of something more wondrous than beauty or popularity contests. There was no beating your triumphant victory over sin and death. Take away my shame. I'm calling on your name. If I can't say it out loud, does that mean a creature forged out of flames covers my mouth with its claws? Pull up my tormentors one by one till they're all blown up in smoke. I'm amazed that that wasn't a wake-up call, for that spirit pushed beyond the edge of reason, where we are not surrounded by those who love Jesus. It's easy to convince ourselves that lies are true and truth is but a mythic concept we reconstruct in our heads. Reconstruct in our own heads. Until the evidence contradicts of our panic-stricken conscience, baby's birth, or the new minted morning. Tell me, how do they wriggle themselves out of crises? It's only delusion that convinces them they are able to extricate themselves from the point of view of no return by their own hands. Pilots, cabin entry points are used as a device to assist the strapping of bombs onto planes. If anybody intends to harm another by his own paws, he must have pythons wrapped around his brain cells. Squeezing them tightly till they pop and burst. It's not your urging that results in such occurrence. Those psychopaths may well convince themselves that you're doing your work, slowly depopulating the earth. If it isn't terrorists that wipes us out, it will probably be due to the fact we kill ourselves faster than we can create replicants of this earth's population for the sake of convenience and selfish pride. Vanity over maintaining unchanged physical appearance. Some physique won't tackle the loneliness into a headlock. When it sniffs around, don't wait too long to show your face. We are such impatient creatures, curtain like an assuming delay means refusal. If we were pilots of a plane, you'd be the fuselage. Without you, we'd come tumbling to our deaths a million miles below. Bestow upon us the gift of life and wisdom. You show us how to love each other by your selfless, benevolent actions. I know you face temptation, so you must have wrestled in every area we have. Yet fixing your eyes on your goal, you remained undissuaded. I can't risk postponing getting my life right with you till my very last minute has arrived. The fruitfulness of barren souls still yielding breath in Elohim's respirator. I know I made mistakes, but your perfect love is capable of overriding and overruling the capacity of my wrongs to define my being. You making me right as rain again. You give me fresh reasons to smile, knowing you rule and reign over my heart. It doesn't have to end in tragedy. I can make a triumphant return. I don't need to crash and burn. Assuming I've learned my lesson. The truth leaves lesions behind, but eventually it stitches them back up again. Despite my wretchedness, I know you love me, Jesus, and I intend to prove my love for you by the way I love each day of the rest of my life. People will scorn you for unseemly behavior, but they won't take the time to reason through how you got to that place in your thinking patterns. Why cause your mind to become so twisted? How you suddenly made a switch? It was a gradual drift in perception, reverting back to ancient rhythms. These pulsations calling me beyond the version of myself I knew so well. A flash of something I shouldn't have seen. A hint of potential for attraction taken to the worst possible extreme. Flooding with doses of innocence I should have been protected. Struggling to engage with those my own age. You found me far less fascinating. What caused the shift in how you see me? From idolizing to treating me like as a dirty dog. I know someone has influenced you, cause you've gone all silent on me and you used to be so talkative, bright and bubbly. Oozing with giggles and alphabet soup. I wouldn't encourage little girls to sit in my lap. I'm not that I'm a creep. I just don't want to be stirred up and turned in the wrong direction. Some people fail to see how a mind can become warped. Some will only see your roses and others just your thorns. Some folks adults, they only ever seek to find fault. Lord, I thank you for striking my conscience like a lightning bolt, bringing revulsion of my deeds where thee be. When I was starting to slide into a perverted place, numb to the pain I was causing others, never prideful or shame-faced, just beyond everybody's reach seemingly. It wasn't the threats of police intervention that got my attention, that just made me mad, sad, scared, and self-defensive. Though I knew what I said was morally reprehensible, calling me on the reason for my guilt wasn't removing the self from my soul. It was just digging me deeper in a hole. Why does my sickness fascinate those on the outside of my experience? Why can't they see these things don't just happen overnight? I'm not making excuses, I'm giving explanations that are not an attempt to justify my actions. Just giving insight into the thought processes of one who is struggling. When society is over-sexualizing infant girls, urging them to dress older than they are, starting them on make up oh so young. pushing them to wear the shortest skirts, so short they may as well be wearing undergarments, and then they wonder why the boys' heads spin. They don't try to understand us. They just love to make us out to be the villains, not seeing that we have also been victimized. Often we have been ignored as children. We never found success in relating to the opposite sex in our age group. We crave the innocence of angels, wanting to remain chaste and pure, avoiding all appearance of evil like the plague. I'm glad my sister couldn't hear me when I recorded a song about her and a friend getting orgasmic. I must have been off my head, though I wasn't on drugs at the time. I wonder what could have possessed me. I know I made life miserable for myself by consuming pornographic magazines, both soft and hard, when I was an adolescent age. I know a guy who got sent to jail for having certain images on his computer. I was careful to make sure I never asked for that kind of material. Our awareness of sexuality appears to be hiding these days. It is not healthy to be so hyper-vigilant that we suspect the most innocent of interactions, assuming foul play is involved. They say you can never be too cautious, but personally it makes me nauseous when all I'm doing is contacting someone a little too much and they start circulating whispers, hinting serious allegations. Does tickling a fire qualify as molestation? I think the private parts need to actually be involved. I don't think any jury would convict me of my actions. We find ourselves dealing with romantic distractions en route to chasing purity. I know I shouldn't have said those things about what I wanted to do with you, but I can only move forwards, not backwards. I hope one day you can look me in the eyes without wanting to jump out of your skin whenever I'm in your vicinity. I praise the Lord for all the close shaves He has protected me from. I'm grateful that I don't have to be a slave to my senses anymore. I am not the whore of sensuality. I am able to think for myself, not another casualty of this modern lure. There is a cure for my malady. I don't want these young ladies to go around calling each other female dogs or prostitutes. That makes me sick to the stomach, and I know it causes God's heart pain too. Seeing his daughters being mocked, pushed around, taken for a ride, treated chauvinistically, patronized and demeaned, taken for granted, taken advantage of. He weeps along with you. He doesn't like to see his little ones grieving to themselves. He doesn't want to keep your pain locked up in a bottle. He wants you to sit on his knee, stroke your hair and soothe your troubled spirit. He is available to help you push on through till you get that breakthrough. You can find that place of healing. You can trust the opposite sex again. He can peel back the layers of you to reveal the real you. He can take away all the hurt and the pain that's been causing you to treat every woman disdain. Assuming all men are lies, so you never even bother to get close to one. Falsely thinking they are all out to do you in, wanting to chew you up and spit you out again, exploit you for whatever they can get out of you, then take the money and run, laughing all the way to the bank, making millions off you, but you won't get fleeced forever if you stay in the Savior's will. No matter how horrible this life gets, He has a great, beautiful paradise beyond the grave waiting for you. But don't let your heart be troubled by all those soul-scathing comments. Try your best to rise above it. God will fill you with hope. He won't let you perish without getting a chance to become more deeply acquainted with Him. I know you paint yourself into a corner. You are chicks and dudes breathing on your neck, always wanting to cut up a little piece of you, claiming you for themselves. But what if you belong completely to Jesus? What if you were so wrapped up in His love, nothing could destroy your love within? Huh? Are you calling us? Alright. I better finish this in 13 minutes. Peace out.